Hey, what's up guys? Neil here. I just thought about sharing tips that I learned in this hobby, and I thought you will benefit from some of the things that I'm gonna share. But before I start, just want to share some video. I was building my third quadcopter last night, which I'm gonna be bringing to the Philippines, and right here I'm just testing GPS rescue, and I want to make sure that the quad returns to me. So I'm thinking of going to or flying this quadcopter in crazy places in the Philippines. So yeah, it works. I had an unfortunate configuration with the Mamba F405 MK2 flight controller. I could not get SBus PPM resource mapping to work, and trying to convert it as a soft serial, and it didn't work with either the CADX or the GPS. But anyways, right now I'm using a CL Racing F4S, and it's working well. And yeah, I've just noticed this kind of GPS rescue. It nods, the quad is nodding up and down, even on my 7-inch quad and my other quad, and it was not like this before in like version 4.2 or 4.3. Yeah, but anyways, it goes back, so that's the most important thing. Okay, let's start with the tips that I'd like to share, especially for you beginners. If you're beginning, I would highly recommend that you buy a very good radio controller like the Jumper T16 or Radio Master, or maybe you should actually buy something that you think will like by your hand. So find someone, and then I think there's like a Tango controller. It's too small for me. I really like the one that I have right now, which is Jumper T16. It's kind of old, but still works. And then once you get that, you'll need a USB cable, and you'll have to buy and install Steam, and buy a simulator, like for example Liftoff or Velocidrone. I've only used Liftoff, and it helped me get started with this hobby. It's quite different from a real quad because it's kind of floaty, and when you crash in Liftoff, since it's a simulator, the drone will not actually break. In real life, there is a high probability that you will break parts. But as you learn to fly, you will lessen and lessen the likelihood of breaking your quad, especially when you're just cruising. Yep, so let's get to the second part of the tips. I think, and I believe, I'm happy that I decided with this approach. When I was learning, I wanted to buy like very good parts, expensive parts, and someone told me, no, you will be crashing your drone a lot. So we highly recommend that you buy cheap parts. I listened, so I bought a cheap frame, 5-inch frame, and I'm really glad that I started with 5-inch right away, and switching to trying to a lower size quad like 3-inch or 2.5-inch or even the Tiny Hawk was a breeze. It was really quick. I didn't have to adjust, and it's because I started with 5-inch quad. So go with that, go with a 5-inch. But anyways, going back to the cheap, for example, I got the TBS Source 1 version 3. It's durable, and of course, if you crash, there is a chance that you will break. So I highly recommend that you fly in open areas like like parks where there's a huge amount of lawn space. So that way the chances of you breaking the props, and when I say the props, that's the propellers and the arms, is minimal, like 50%, depending on how strong you fly. And then also I bought Emax Echo, and they're cheap, like $11, so it wasn't very hard on my wallet, especially when I crashed them. And like what I said, as you move along the way, as you fly daily, as to learn this stuff, you will actually lessen the chances of breaking parts. Yeah, and also I noticed too, regarding the parts, I only had 2 batteries back then, 4S battery, CNHL, I think it was 1300. Yeah, I think 1300 4S, since I was using a 2306 2400 kV motor of Emax, and those would only last like 2 flights for about 10 minutes, and I'm going home and then charge again and then go back to the flying field, and it was a pain. And what I did is I bought 4 more cheap batteries, and that allowed me to fly, for example, like 4 minutes times 6, 24 minutes of flight time. And yeah, that actually helped me a lot. So I flew in the morning as well as in the afternoon. And when COVID pandemic came, I actually flew every day because I was working from home. I'm lucky with the type of work I do, because I can actually do things remotely. I'm a DevOps guy, so yeah, it helped a lot. And then what else? So I started with analog. I don't know if analog as my first suggestion would be a good idea, especially my eyes are bad. I would highly recommend that you go with a better camera and a better goggles. I have not seen the Walk Snail. I only have the DJI FPV goggles version 1, which I bought, I think, early 2020, and I'm still using it. And yeah, it's so nice. I'm still using it today, and it actually helped me a lot in flying, because before, when I was using analog, specifically Fat Shark Dominator V3, I could hardly see the branches, especially with my bad eyesight. What else? So buy a better goggles, trust me on that. It's the field of view is so huge and you can see everything, and it helped me fly more, how do you call that word, more, not comfortable, but I couldn't remember that exact word, but I think you're more, what's that word? I couldn't remember that word. You are able to fly more, not more careful, because you can now see everything, which is nice. I'm gonna attach the text. I'm gonna superimpose the text once I figure it out. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. So what else? Okay. Let's continue on parts. Earlier in the hobby, I did not know about buzzer. Oh my god, since I used to crash a lot and I fly in open field, and I was using Dominator V3, I crashed it in the open field, and oh my god, I could not find it, even if there was no corn yet. It was just so hard because the quad was so far from me, and yeah, I could not find it. and I was just lucky to find it around 9 p.m. after watching my DVR, and I found out I was looking at the wrong spot. But then, since it was 9 p.m., heading back to that area, the LED light from Rush Tank, even from far away, I saw it. I was, wow, damn, it's right there. And yeah, I was scared because a coyote might attack me. But yeah, I was so happy. So I was able to recover my quad, though the battery was actually messed up, meaning like it was down to like 7 volts, and we know LIPOs, we should not go below like 3.5 volts. Okay, so yeah, that's with LIPO. With Lions, we should not go down below 3.0 volts. Yeah, so aside from that, because of I was having a hard time finding it, I added the VIFLY finder. So that's the beeper. Okay, so add that into your list, VIFLY finder. And also, if you don't have a DVR, I would highly recommend, let's say you accidentally did not record the DVR, so you might also, I highly recommend you install GPS. It is very important, and you can configure your radio controller on how to log latitude and longitude. And this latitude, longitude values can be entered in maps.google.com, and it will give you an idea where your quadcopter is. Okay, so yep. And then about flying, so I wish I did it early in the hobby, like in the first month, but I did not, and I think it was not my fault that I didn't do it early. My quad kept fail-safing every time I fly because I was using FreeSky receiver, and the culprit was actually not the FreeSky, but the culprit was the antenna that I was using on the Jumper T16. It was damn bad. So after buying the 2.4 gigahertz antenna made by VAS, I never fail safe anymore. It was actually a lot of help. But anyways, going back to the tip that I wanted to share, it's actually entering gaps. I started entering gaps on my 8th month. Wow, right? It's too so late. So try entering gaps early in your hobby. So try doing the gaps in simulator, entering gaps in the simulator, and you would not believe. I wish I can find that. I can find my recordings. I don't know where they're at. There's two trees where I used to enter, and the gap between the tree is actually like 20 feet. Yes, 20 feet. And they are very far from each other. And because I was using the Dominator V3 goggles, I'm not making excuses. I actually hit the tree. Right? 20 feet gap and you hit the tree. So yeah, try entering gaps early in your FPV hobby, trust me. And also, maybe I should have also started racing first before freestyle, because I believe racing drones, like those race gates. So build those race gates now and enter them, and it would totally help you in entering gaps. I did not do that, and it's only recent that I started doing it. When I fly, I tried to find some gaps and then I entered them. I was so late. So, but I'm improving now. But again, it's so late. So, in order for you to become a really good freestyle pilot, yeah, start entering your quad in tight gaps now. Start with 10 feet wide and then go lower, like 8 feet, 7 feet, 5 feet, 4 feet, 3 feet. And then yeah, that will really make you a really cool FPV pilot, freestyle pilot. And also another tip that I'd like to share, this takes a while, this hobby takes you a while to learn how to do tricks. And then don't be like sad, like how come they can fly that way and yours sucks, right? That's normal. We've been there. We were also the same during our first 3-6 months. That's fine. It's okay. So the technique here, the technique here, or the takeaway here is, it's the stick time. You should fly a lot. Stick time. Get used to your quad. Oh, that reminds me, because I don't have any notes here. That just reminded me of, here's another problem that I saw with other FPV pilots. They keep complaining on the quads that they have. They keep on changing parts, changing tunes. Don't do that. Get used to the tune that you have once you get it working. I'm currently running just a standard bids, 670, and then the only thing I modify is the expo. I've got .50 in roll, .40 in pitch, and .15 in yaw, and degrees is 670. That's what I'm using here. And what else? So yeah, don't keep on changing tunes, because you will totally get messed up, especially with your sticks. When you try to move the sticks, your roll, pitch, it's gonna affect you, and you're gonna complain a lot. You will complain a lot. And why is it this way? It's still not flying well. And then now you're gonna like throw your quad, and then you're not gonna be happy with the hobby, and you're gonna sell it. So again, stick with your tune. First, tune it. Ask help for the tune. Let's say it's wobbling. Of course, yeah, that part you have to fix it until you get it working. Then stick with that tune. All right. What else? Okay, here's another thing which I am so happy about with my FPV adventure. I'm so glad that let's repeat. I'm so glad that I tried stabilizing my video with the built-in stabilization in the GoPro Session 5, as well as Real Steady Go. But you know what? That stabilizing thing that we do in our video actually hurt me a lot. I was giving a false reality that I'm actually a good pilot. So after I did that video, I'm gonna include a thumb or a link in the video. After I did that video, I was like, wow, this is so cool. But you know what? It's not me. It's fake. So I disabled the stabilization, the built-in stabilization in the GoPro Session 5, as well as Real Steady Go. I did not use them anymore. And that way, I get to see how I really fly. And like how I yaw. I had so much problem with yaw before, and I just practiced it a lot, and then I was able to smoothly do the yaw thing. And yeah, I would highly recommend that you turn off stabilization. It will make you it will make you a bad pilot. Trust me on that. So yes, your video looks good, but trust me, if you watch our real footage, no, it gives us a false reality that we are a good pilot. This video that I was showing is just a DVR from FPV DJI goggles, and it looks great. According to my eyes, it looks great. I've improved a lot, and also the last video that I shared in YouTube, yeah, it's also very nice. The stabilization is turned off in session 5, as well as I did not process it with real steady, gyroflow. And it's easy to see if a video has been stabilized. You can easily see it by looking at the sides and the way the quad moves. You can tell. So yeah, I would highly recommend you turn off the stabilization. I highly recommend it, and don't be shy in sharing the raw video. It's fine. Other pilots can actually give you good advice, and that's why when I share my videos, they're all color graded but not stabilized. What else? I'm thinking about, I don't have any notes. I think it would be nice if you try to find a group, and then I did not have any group for like maybe 2 years. I don't know anyone here in my area where I was flying, and so glad to someone made a comment in one of my videos, and he's around the area, so I'm now part of that group, which is called Quad Mafia. And so nice to hear about or meet new friends. Yeah, it's so nice to fly with other people, and you get to learn from them. It's so nice. What else? Okay, another tip. So yeah, you can fly at the same spot, master that spot, and then try finding another spot so that it can give you another type of hurdle or difficulty level. So go with that, okay? And then another tip is, this is what I did when I was beginning in the hobby. I watch and I search FPV videos and look for the type of flying that I really want, and I found few folks and I followed them, and what I did is I tried to dissect their move. So I actually download the recording, and then I download and I open them in an editor, or maybe like a regular player, so I can pause. And I don't like the pausing in YouTube. And then I make it pause. I pause them, and then I try to play it frame by frame. And then I try to figure out how they actually made the move. So that helps. So follow the style that you like. I really like flow, juicy flow, as well as S-bang. And lately I've been happy with how do you call this, like cinematic. So I've got this 7-inch quad, which I just use for cinematic purposes. And yeah, for cinematic purposes, that's when I would recommend that you use stabilization, but not for freestyle. But one of my uploads, my 7-inch videos, they're still not processed because I'm still trying to figure out how to make it really smooth. But so far it's flying so smooth, and eventually, yeah, I'm gonna definitely use gyroflow, especially when I visit the Philippines and fly that 7-inch drone in nature places, landscapes, seascapes, anything. And since I'll just be cruising it, and I wanted to make it as smooth as possible. What else? What other tips? Yeah, like what I said, stick time is the key. Don't change your tune every time, not unless it's wobbly. Of course, that's when you need to change it. Buy cheap parts. You don't need to buy expensive parts, and if possible, try to buy motors from marketplaces. I've been lucky with the 1750 kV motor that I bought in FPV marketplace. It's a 2207 Brother Hobby R6 returner R6. It's beaten up but still works, and that's what I bought in mid 2020. Oh my god, it's still working today. And I flew it in CPP in SoCal. It's a parking spot, and I crashed like heavily like 7 times. It's still up, it's still running, although of course the bell is a little bent, but it's okay, it's still working. And I paid for it for like $24 for all 4. Yeah. And sorry, I have to say this, don't buy Arcin Power. They fly really smooth, but their bell is so soft. I hate it. I really hate it. I wasted my money because they're expensive. I'm not gonna buy them anymore. So Brother Hobby is a really good brand. I've never tried T-Motors yet. Maybe they're good. They're expensive though. Emax Echo for starters, if you want to buy a brand new one and don't want to think about like if you buy something from FB Marketplace, you'll get like bad motors. So yeah, go with a brand new one using Emax Echo. What else? I'm thinking of other stuff. So don't fly your quads near your house in the neighborhood. Please don't. You can accidentally ruin something. So when I started this hobby, I did not know about soft mounting of flight controllers. Okay, so the flight controller was hard mounted. When I say hard mounted, there's no, that rubber thing or the rubber stand off. So I tried flying in the backyard, and okay, I was actually hovering it, and I did not have goggles at that time. I was hovering it, and it was like 5 feet above the lawn, and suddenly, oh my god, it flew really fast, like maybe 70-90 miles per hour upwards, and I could barely see the quad because yeah, it just flew so fast. And glad I remembered how to disarm it, so I disarmed like 150 feet or 200 feet above the sky, and I'm so glad it did not land on my neighbor's roof, but it landed on his lawn. And so glad that his yard, specifically the fence, the door was open, and I saw it. Oh my god. And I think I broke 2 arms, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I tried it again outside. Went to a big park, it did again. So I was actually getting pissed off, and then I started asking in one of the channels in Discord, and they told me, someone asked me, are your flight controllers soft mounting? I was like, what the hell is soft mounting? And then he showed me a picture. Yeah, so there you go. It was not soft mounted. So after I did that, it never it's called flyaway. It never flew away anymore. However, since it never flew away anymore, the next thing that happened was the consecutive fail safe because of the bad antenna on my radio Jumper T16. So yeah, buy a really good radio now. Invest on the radio. So okay, that's another tip. I would highly recommend TBS Crossfire, Nano, and Micro TX. I haven't had a good luck with ELRS, but some people are having good luck with ELRS. I had so much bad luck with the Happy Model, but I heard there's good brands. I think Happy Model is not a good brand. I don't know. So I just went back and reverted back all my drones to using TBS Crossfire. Yeah, they're expensive though, but highly recommended. What else? I'm trying to think about other tips for your flight. Well, like what I said, have at least 5 batteries, and then the charger. Oh, the charger too, LiPo charger. My charger can only charge one at a time. It's annoying. So buy a charger that can at least charge 2 LiPo batteries at the same time. And I think one of the really good chargers is called I had to look at it, ISDT. I had the other one, the what's that, MA Tool Kit something. It only lasted for like 9 months, and it was not able to properly charge anymore. It was not completing. It was taking hours. It was bad. And then when I thought it was the battery, so when I bought a new one, the ISDT, I think it's Q6, but don't buy that because it can only charge 1 battery at a time. When I charged it with the ISDT, wow, it completed quickly in like 20 minutes. So the M8 Toolkit RC charger was bad. Alright, sorry if this was so long, but just wanted to share these tips which I believe will help you with your FPV hobby adventure. Alrighty guys, I am heading out soon, and in 3 days I'll be flying to the Philippines, and hopefully to get some really cool quadcopter scary flights. Alright, give me a thumbs up guys, and hopefully you can subscribe as well. Thank you.